Hi, folks. Greetings. My name is Brendan Bond. I'm an assistant director here at Syracuse University with our international admissions team. I specifically work with prospective South Asian students, so it's a real pleasure to be talking with you today. And as such, I've been the chief coordinator with the Next Genius Scholarship Organization over the last few years, and really happy to be talking to you today and discussing specifically the college essay and the why that major essay question. And so, found within the context of the Common Application, and Syracuse University, for example, is a Common Application school, commonapp.org, that is the exclusive application that we use. This is an essay that can be found either in the university's supplemental application or as the main response to the Common App essay question. There's actually an option for students to choose their own essay option, and this could be one that you choose. But regarding the supplemental essay question, so when you're completing the Common Application, many universities will have a supplemental page or two that will be specific to the academic programs, the particular university admissions process. And so you'll need to complete that supplemental application as part of the review. And in many cases, this is where that essay will be found as part of the supplemental application. So what is this question? What is this essay? So this is a type of academic interest essay where the admissions committee seeks to learn more about your intellectual passions and your goals and how they can, the university, in their mission and educational opportunities, help you achieve those goals. So this is not only an opportunity to provide in detail why you are interested in what you're interested in, but an opportunity to show why this particular university you're applying to can help you achieve those goals, help you achieve your intellectual goals in the particular academic program that you're hoping to apply to. And this is important in holistic review. You're not only bringing in personal context in terms of your academic interests, but you're also showing that you have researched the university that you're applying to. You're aware of what they're known for, their strengths in terms of particular academic programs. And this, of course, helps in terms of demonstrated interest, which can be a factor in holistically admitted and holistically reviewed application. So it's an academic interest essay, pretty straightforward. Some examples that you might find, please explain your interest in your first choice major, your undecided status in the case that you maybe are undecided in applying to a university. So, fairly straightforward. Why are you interested in what you are interested in relative to academics at a particular school? Next choice here, another example. Explain how you anticipate your pursuit of your first choice major at Syracuse University will prepare you for your future career and help you to fulfill your goals and aspirations. So the second example wants a little bit more in-depth examination of not only why you're interested in this major, but why this major at this university and how that can help you in your goals and aspirations. So, for example, not only why are you interested in psychology, but what is it about psychology at Syracuse University that can help you achieve your goals? So that's a little bit more of an in-depth examination of your academic interests, and isn't a common example of the why that essay question that you might see as part of a supplemental application, or again, this may be an option that you choose to in responding to the main Common Application essay question. So why is this an important essay question? Why is the essay in general important? Essays as a fundamental part of holistically reviewed applications, and I'll talk a little bit about what holistically reviewed applications are in a moment, but they allow chiefly both the student and the university to bring a level of subjectivity in review and in describing why you're interested, what you're interested in, and what you are interested in. You are bringing more of a personal context while allowing the university to see how you can best fit into their educational style and individual opportunities that they provide. So in terms of what is holistic admissions. Chiefly, as I stated, it allows a level of subjectivity and application review process that allows universities to meet different institutional priorities that are not always academic in nature. For example, looking to bring in underrepresented populations, underrepresented majors, looking to bring in specific athletes for programs, different talent-based programs, et cetera. All of these different priorities are subjective qualities that don't necessarily have a lot to do with academic talent, but more so personal character, demographics, interests outside of the classroom, financial resources, different types of preparation, aspects of an applicant that are not necessarily represented alone in the transcript or in a test score, for example. So again, although every institution, every university is looking to build the most scholastically talented pool of applicants, most universities outside of that are looking to meet a variety of different targets when shaping an admitted class, including target academics, majors that they want to grow. Maybe there's a highly ranked program that they have to be extra selective for. So all of these factors will affect the way in which universities examine students and the majors that are applying to. And obviously, this type of essay is really crucial in identifying that additional characteristic interests or need of a student as it relates to a particular major. So that's why it's really important. This type of essay is really important in the context of holistically reviewed admissions. And this is something that you'll hear a lot about when you start looking into, especially US universities, where holistically reviewed applicants is really the chief process by which they examine applications. It's not just, looking for an SAT score or a minimum GPA. They're really looking at the whole application, of which the essay is a really important part because it's personal. It's coming from you directly. And in this particular case, the why that major essay, even more so because it's addressing a specific academic opportunity, academic talent, need, want, desire, etc. So that's why this essay is really important in the context of holistically reviewed applications. So how do we approach answering this type of essay? Firstly, you really want to think honestly about the major that you are interested in and the reasons why you are interested in that major. Generally speaking, you want to steer away from superficial reasons like financial rewards or prestige. Obviously those can be real motivations in students and why they choose a particular major, but we want to focus on more in-depth reasons. That's what's going to be most interesting to an admissions committee. Obviously, if you're applying to a finance major, for example, in a school of management, of course, it goes without saying that there are going to be some financial rewards, potentially prestige associated with working in finance. But in terms of your academic journey at a particular university, why are you really interested in finance? Do you enjoy numbers? Do you enjoy math? Do you enjoy anticipating and working with risk? Those types of things are going to be what a university is more interested in as it applies to the why that major essay. Furthermore, how would you describe your state of mind when you're exploring this field? Why is it so appealing to you to immerse yourself in it for 4 or 5 years? The more specific you can be, the better. Show, don't tell. Tell a story of why you're interested in this particular major. I feel particularly excited and alive when I'm looking at the Bloomberg news terminal and I'm seeing the stocks and the figures and the graphs go up and down. It really makes me feel like I'm a part of a broader economic world. These types of characteristics, these types of examples are things that you want to talk about in this type of an essay, because it goes beyond the cliche, it goes on beyond the typical reasons why you might, for example, be interested in a finance major. Another good way to approach this essay is to explain why you're interested in the major, outside the classroom or inside of the classroom in terms of positive experiences. Perhaps, again, going back to the finance major example, perhaps you had curriculum in high school that relates to business management, and you really enjoyed a particular professor's approach to addressing management and the issues surrounding management and finance. And maybe that was a real inspiration for you in terms of why you want to carry that on in terms of pursuing it at the university level. Perhaps your family has experience working in finance. These types of things, not necessarily just inside of the classroom, but outside of the classroom, are going to be interesting to an admissions committee as they read this type of essay. Furthermore, do research on the university's take on that particular major and why that's interesting to you. Perhaps there's a class by a particular professor at the school you're applying to that is particularly appealing. Typically if you search, so for example, at Syracuse University, you can search finance, Syracuse University, or finance professor at Syracuse University, and you can start to get a sense of the community of individuals and professors and faculty members that make up that particular field. And perhaps there's a particular topic that's unique to the way in which Syracuse University examines finance, and that could be particularly appealing to you. I really want to work with Professor Smith as they analyze analytics and as it looks to be involved in financial decision making. That type of a response would be, really interesting to an admissions committee because it goes a little bit more in depth, and it also shows that you have done some research in terms of your university. It shows that you have a demonstrated interest in attending that university because you're kind of going above and beyond and looking at what is interesting to you in that particular field, at that specific university. Even if you're not necessarily sure in terms of the major you want to pursue, you can talk about your individual intellectual pursuits and interests and how a particular university can make those further meaningful to you. For example, if you really want to be involved in research, I really enjoy research surrounding the STEM fields, and I really want to pursue that at a higher level, at a university level. That's the type of approach that you may take in case you're undecided. And you may be, as an undecided student, asked to respond still to this type of why that major essay. And you can take a really unique approach by really addressing why you're undecided, but still addressing and talking about your intellectual interests in a general sense and how they may be met at a particular university. So those are some different types of approaches to address the why that major essay, and some really unique ways to address the essay as you write it. So generally speaking, here are some just general essay tips as you approach not only this particular essay, the why that major essay, but also as you approach any particular essay that you need to write as it is involved with the common application or any essay as part of the application process. So, firstly, the essay really provides you with an opportunity to demonstrate, of course, your familiarity with the English language, the strength of your writing, and directly your familiarity with Syracuse University or whatever university you're applying to as you approach that essay topic. And so you're going to be doing a lot of essays when you're in university. And so the essay provides us on the admissions committee not only with a sense of the skill that you have right now surrounding writing, but generally speaking, it allows us to see your ability in critical thinking and problem solving. And also these types of essays show a little bit in terms of your personal motivation, your personal interests. And so it is a personal communication to the admissions committee. It's a way in which you can directly reach out to the admissions committee in addressing the essay directly. And so use language you're comfortable with. Be honest. Don't rely on complicated vocabulary. Put the thesaurus down. It's always very obvious to those who work on admissions committees when you're reading an essay and you can see marked in that essay the words, those $1 million words that are picked out of a thesaurus, because it's incongruous with the rest of the essay's vocabulary. And so you want to make sure you're being honest and open and letting that essay be a true reflection of who you are, not only in terms of your interests, but also your intellectual, your writing ability. Because if you're being dishonest, if you're using a thesaurus all throughout the essay, it's going to be readily obvious to an admissions counselor. So obviously in this regard, proofreading is essential. Carefully look over your own application essay. You may want to have some other eyes look at it, a trusted counselor or a teacher, not necessarily to edit the content in terms of the approach that you make toward the essay, but to catch any grammatical, spelling errors, etc. Don't rely on spell check alone. And really a big piece of advice that I often give students as they're approaching essay questions, more often what is important in approaching these essays is not necessarily what you're communicating, but how you are communicating, making sure that the essay flows correctly, that it reads well, that it's free of these errors that can be really distracting as it applies to an admissions committee that's reviewing these essays and reading those essays. And so you want to make sure that you're giving it a good proofread and having other eyes, if necessary, look at it. I think that's really valuable, and having some other folks take a look at it and read it through to make sure that it reads well, that make sure that's clear, that it's free of any of those little errors. So again, lastly, show, don't tell, use vivid, specific details and descriptions as much as possible. Be honest, be authentic, be you. I know that's easier said than done, but again, the essay is a great way to reach directly to the admissions committee, and it's an opportunity that I think is really important as it applies to putting your best foot forward as you apply, but also in regards of holistic admissions. It's an important piece of the puzzle when admissions committees are evaluating you as an applicant. So those are some quick details and quick tips as it applies to the why that essay response in the Common App, the supplemental application, or wherever you may find that in other applications of universities that you may be applying to, and of course some follow-up tips as it relates to general essay writing. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about just briefly about Syracuse University. We are one of the Next Genius partner schools. Of course, we're located in the heart of central New York State. Easy 6-hour drive from New York City, many major other metropolitan areas. It's easy to get in and out of Syracuse, New York. There's a population of about 500,000 people metro. So that means there's a major airport, major train station, and from Delhi or Mumbai, it's just 2 flights from either of those cities to Newark, New Jersey, and then right up to Syracuse, New York. So it's an easy city to get in and out of. In terms of academic offerings, between our 10 undergraduate schools and colleges, we offer 200 different academic programs, 100 minors, including options for dual enrollment, interdisciplinary study. We're very much best of both worlds in terms of the in-classroom experience. Average class size is less than 30 students. Student to faculty ratio is less than 20-1. All that being within a large, comprehensive Research One institution with approximately 20,000 students total on campus, 3/4 of which are undergraduate students. But you can see here how then you'll have the resources, the name recognition, the brand awareness, the rankings of a larger Research One comprehensive university. But in terms of the in-classroom learning experience, it's going to be much more like that of a small liberal arts college, where you're going to really get to know your faculty members, your fellow students, and start to build those really important professional networks as an undergraduate student. And speaking of professional networks, out of classroom experiences are very much valued here at Syracuse University. Almost equally as much as what's happening inside of the classroom is how we approach what's going on outside of the classroom. We want students, again, early on to start to take theory to practice, start to apply what they learn, start to build those professional networks as an undergraduate student, which is really important in helping you navigate the transition from your academic to your professional life. At Syracuse University, we're very much aware of the fact that you're making an investment in your future self by attending university in the United States, obviously financial, but also in terms of time and energy. And we want to make sure thus that you're getting every opportunity as an undergraduate student to put yourself in a position to be successful. This starts with a really unique model surrounding academic advising. It's an integrated model that partners not only academic advising, but career advising as well. So the same individuals that you're talking to about what classes you should take in the Whitman School of Management or College of Engineering and Computer Science, et cetera, are the same individuals that you're going to be talking with concerning internships, networking opportunities, research opportunities, et cetera. And we are a Research One institution. Annually, we spend, hundreds of $1 million in different research initiatives around campus, not exclusively to just STEM fields. And undergraduates are very much a part of this experience. In fact, we have the Syracuse Office of Undergraduate Research and Creative Engagement that helps students find, as undergraduate students, grant funding for research initiatives as undergraduate students. Talk about a resume builder. Not only are you taking part in research, but you're leading a research endeavor, which is a really unique experience to Syracuse University. We're very entrepreneurial. We have several business incubators on campus, including the Blackstone Launchpad, our flight simulator, which I have there twice for students that are interested in aeronautical engineering. It's really helpful to see how a design for a plane will work in reality, so to speak. Study abroad, we are very internationally focused here at Syracuse University, obviously not only with our international community on campus, but in terms of students going abroad. You absolutely can study abroad while you're studying abroad here as an international student. We have 5 centers that act as mini Syracuse University campuses where you're attending SU coursework taught by SU faculty members at an SU location. You just happen to be in Santiago, Chile, Strasbourg, France, London, Florence, Italy, or Madrid, Spain. So really unique opportunities for international coursework, international internships, international research as well. In terms of the student experience here at Syracuse University, we are that typical quintessential undergraduate residential experience here on campus. The best way to talk about that school spirit and that student experience here is to talk about the students that make up that experience, very diverse in the broadest sense, socioeconomically, culturally, geographically. We have students from all 50 states, over 160 countries represented at the undergraduate and graduate level. And even though we are this diverse, we all bleed orange. Syracuse University has incredible school spirit here on campus, really goes a long way in bonding the community. And as part of that community, you will be very much part of the global community that we have here at Syracuse University. Students at the undergraduate level coming from over 120 countries and territories. We always have we have a very vibrant South Asian student community as well. In fact, the South Asian Student Association is one of the most active cultural organizations on campus, and we're regularly matriculating 30 to 40 students from the region on a yearly basis. And so as part of that international community, you're going to be adding to the diversity that's very much valued here at Syracuse University. And there's lots of layers of support for international students here at Syracuse University, starting, of course, with the international admissions team and working with us as you're applying and making a decision, hopefully, to attend Syracuse University, and then moving on for the Center of International Services, which helps students once they are on campus, of course, visa processes, et cetera, and then a great international student orientation and being a great resource for everything that it means to be an international student attending a U.S. university. Like I said, we are that residential campus community. There is a residential requirement as part of being a first year and a second year student here on campus, but it really goes in to creating that dynamic and credible environment that we have here at Syracuse University. There are 4 different first year residence halls that are all right here on campus. And so it really is every need that you have outside of the campus, outside of the classroom, I should say, is going to be met by the services that we have here as part of our residential campus community. So I talked a little bit about that school spirit that we have here at Syracuse University. That does not end when you graduate. It just creates this incredibly dynamic, vibrant alumni community, a really important professional and social network that you're going to have access to that will absolutely get your resume to the top of the pile, get your foot in the door for an interview. So much so they're actually nicknamed the Orange Mafia here at Syracuse University, and really helpful, really proud of the fact that our current president is a Syracuse University School of Law graduate. So a real feather in our orange cap here at Syracuse University when it comes to alumni. So briefly, just some last steps in terms of how you join the Orange community, how you apply to Syracuse University. We do offer two deadlines, an early decision and a regular decision deadline if you're applying outside of Next Genius, November 15th and January 1st, respectively. We practice holistic admissions, as I was stating and addressing earlier in the college essay portion of this presentation. So everything that you submit, we are going to be examining. I should say, however, we are test optional. We do not require students to submit an SAT or an ACT. So everything from the common application to your essay, letters of recommendation, your transcripts over the 4 years of your high school career, Board 10, Board 12 results, predicted results for IB, et cetera. All of that material is going to be examined in a holistic admissions process from students from South Asia. We do offer interviews via Zoom, not required, but certainly recommended, again, to bring that further context into your particular situation. Again, going a long way in showing demonstrated interest as well. At Syracuse University, we do offer merit scholarships to international students. There's nothing that you need to do to be eligible for those merit scholarships. You are considered just in applying to Syracuse University. So lastly there, thank you so much for joining me today. You can see our contact information there. And that's my direct email address, bpbond@syr.edu. I'm happy to continue this conversation online. Thank you to the Next Genius team for allowing me a few minutes to talk with you today. Best of luck in your application process, and hopefully we'll have a chance to meet on campus soon. All the best. Bye-bye.